Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John, and the RNC convention has come to an end last night. I'm sure that some of you were watching, and for those of you that were not watching and fans of legacy media, you'll probably not hear the full truth out of everything, but the parting speech, or the last speech, was Donald Trump, who explained from his point of view one time, and he said one time only, what transpired last Saturday when he was shot at the rally. It was a message of unity between the parties and for America, which is something that we have not heard for or from any of the both sides of the aisle for quite some time now. The civil war that's going on inside the DNC right now leaves a lot to be desired, and they say this is going to be the big weekend for Biden to come out, whether or not he's going to stay in the race, and so on and so on and so forth. But we'll see what transpires with that. I understand that Biden is not willing to go quietly into the night. But after watching him climb the little boy stairs on Air Force One and almost not make it the other day, was a pure and simple sign of defeat in his mind that his own people have turned on him. It's a shame, but I've never seen the Republican Party, not since Ronald Reagan, be so united in the thought of fixing the problems that are in this country rather than adding more to it. And there was some mention of getting the debt paid down last night, which was very close to my heart. I want to know how they're going to do it. He gave some hints last night, but we need to have a government with a balanced budget, and I believe that this is our chance at getting that to happen, if it ever will.
This sound, credit rates are moving up, up, up.
But mainstream media this morning, I kind of just jumped over a little bit to MSDNC and CNN, and they were both very much praising the fact that it was a great convention. They liked his speech, but they had to add to it that he turned it into a campaign speech. Well, Biden does this all the time and gets a pass on it, but it was not so much of a campaign speech until he got to how he's going to, what's wrong and how he wants to fix it. And I believe that needed to be heard by the people in the room and the people across America that may have been tuned into this that do not know very much about Donald Trump, or for that matter, any of these candidates, and we're trying to learn something. And I think that they learned that Donald Trump is actually a human being through this. And I think they also learned that we have a gentleman that is sitting in the seat right now that has some cognitive problems, and that's due to a deterioration due to age. And, you know, he has spent 50-some years in the service of this country. Whether or not he did a good job, whether or not he continues to do a job, is of no consequence. I applaud his time he spent in government. I don't agree with how he voted. I don't agree with some of the things he came up with to try to stop good things in this country. I don't believe most of what he makes up and says that he was involved in racial things of protest and things of that nature where he has made up stories. I don't believe in corn pop and all of the people that he has taken to task, because he's not built that way.
I'm confused.
The other guy has a series of his own problems, and I think Franklin Graham summed it up best last night by coming out and saying, your speeches are great, but can you tone down the use of bad language? Which I think he's come to the fact right now that he's got a second lease on life by surviving that bullet the other day. And I believe he has a change of heart, and he's a little bit more conciliatory than he has been in the past. And it remains to be seen. He'll be back on the campaign trail. I think he said he was going to Nevada next. So we'll see how he does on the campaign trail. There's still an ongoing investigation as to what happened that Saturday. The breach in security is widening as it seems to be coming out. There were some mistakes made. The senators running after the head of Secret Service when she was out there to meet with Donald Trump in the building during the Republican National Convention was very childish on their part. But I understand the frustration that they have, because having spent the last year trying to impeach Mayorkas and getting answers out of him has been almost impossible, because the man does not answer questions, and she's just of the same cloth, it looks like. We don't know what happened. If the FBI is involved and is covering up things, it came out this morning on one of the channels I was flipping through that there may be offshore accounts in this kid's name. That doesn't bode well for not having some help to do this. His car was truck with the explosives was 10 miles away from the scene. He had a bicycle there and another car. How does all this happen unnoticed to not only local law enforcement, but the Secret Service, the FBI, the state police? How do you get past all that?
I need the man in black.
It's very interesting how this whole thing went down and how it's taken so long to figure out why the FBI would be cleaning the roof when that's not done, and it hasn't ever been done that way. They take evidence, but why are they cleaning the roof? What's the cover-up here is what's on everyone's mind right now. And if you start to spend too much time inside the media dome, you're going to see opinion after opinion after opinion, and stories and conspiracy theories and everything that goes along with that may or may not benefit us in any way, shape, or form. We'd like to know if there was somebody involved in this that we need to know about. They need to be taken to task, and you need to be transparent to the public. This administration that sits there right now ran on transparency. They ran on uniting everyone in this country, which they did not do. They did the opposite. They divided us. They divided us, and they divided the three-letter agencies and turned them against the public that pays their salary to be there.
Oh, snap.
This is a problem, and it's a problem when you have a regime that wants to stay in power at all costs and will stop at nothing to stay there. Get reelected at all costs. Don't worry about the people in the middle of the country, in the Rust Belt, the flyovers, they don't mean anything to these politicians. This is why having career politicians is not a favorable thing to us as citizens of the United States that are paying the taxes to keep these people in a seat of power. Get them in there with term limits and get them out and let them go back to productive society walks of life. We have people coming out of college now that go right into politics and stay there all their life, and they feel entitled. We don't need entitlement telling us what to do that have never gone out, never had to put their signature on a paycheck for someone else, never had the responsibility of someone else's family on a weekly basis to make sure that his family or her family eats and is able to go to a school of their choice. This is not a dictatorship, Democrats. You're turning it into one, and then you're pointing a finger at other people saying that they will destroy democracy. It's highly doubtful that that will happen. You know it, and now we know it because we have seen behind the curtain for the first time in a long, long time.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
When you have elected officials that are supposed to be doing a job to run this country, being dictated to by people who are not elected and in that administration, and we actually right now do not know who's running this country. I mean, I've heard everything from Joe Biden to Hunter Biden to Obama to Hillary Clinton. We don't know. And they'll never tell us because they're seated in power and do not want to relinquish the power. We need a total flushing of the toilet called Washington, D.C. And we need to stop the infighting between two aisles in legislative government and get back to what the foundations of this country really were. We don't need to be fooling with the Supreme Court. They've functioned for hundreds of years, perfect, without anybody meddling in it. And if Kamala Harris and whoever is behind Joe, if he does step down, I think they're going to throw her under the bus. That's my personal opinion. I have nothing to base that on, but it doesn't look good. But she's the only one that can get into that war chest really legally. But illegal ways are something that is almost mainstream right now with politicians. And we don't know what drives it or who drives it. But it's there, it's happening. But if she thinks that she's just going to continue on the way it is with open borders, with killing the world economy, with killing the economy here, and ignoring the real citizens of this country, that's not something that you really can go out and hang your hat on, vote for. So we need to really make a decision early on this, and I guess we can use early voting to help us along with this somewhat. We'll take a page from their playbook and get in votes early for what you're thinking and what you're voting. And again, I would love, in our comment section below here, is let me know what your thoughts are. What are you thinking? How are you going to approach this upcoming election? And do you think that we can survive 4 more years of the current administration's plan? We didn't build back anything better. We actually lost the bridge. We didn't build back anything better. We actually had corporations leave the United States. And we did not build back better when you have commercial real estate in every major city sitting at 8% occupancy, and in some cases, 0 occupancy. We didn't build back better when the average fellow or woman cannot afford to purchase a home. We didn't build back better when banks were collapsing around us instead of getting stronger. We didn't build back better not having a savings account anymore or an emergency account in case one of our children got sick and we have to come out of pocket with money, because our health care system stinks right now. And I can go on, and I will not. But we all have to put our thinking caps on, and we all have to exercise normal common sense when it comes to what you're being told on the lamestream media every day. And we have to be smart enough to exercise what rights we have left in this country and make sure that we are part of saving our country, not killing it. We saw some heroism last Saturday with Corey the fireman saving his wife and daughter. And this is what real America is. You got to watch. Look at this Sam Brown that's running for the Senate seat. And I can't remember what state. But what a moving, courageous gentleman he is. And he deserves to win that seat that he's running for, hands down. Unbelievable man. Unbelievable fortitude. An unbelievable love for his country that he would put himself back into a fray after almost losing his life to protect this country. These are the people that are America and will continue to be America. We need to unite in one fight, the fight to save the United States of America. And that's all I'm going to bring to you today, politically wise. You've all seen it. You've all processed some of it. Just stay away from legacy media and find a YouTube channel or a Rumble channel that you can trust, number one, that will not lie to you or doesn't have a record of asking you for money for one candidate or another. We are not endorsing anyone, but we are endorsing saving this country from the way it's headed right now. It cannot survive in this fashion. And that's common sense, folks. But enough. It's Friday. We're embarking on a wonderful weekend here. And we have a sponsor on this channel. And in case you're planning a barbecue for this weekend, we would like you to buy your meats from Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop. They have the finest beef that you will ever taste. Their hours are from 9 to 6 p.m. Friday is 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Thursday, and Friday. Saturday is 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you call on Thursday morning or early enough on Friday today and order some special cuts for steaks for the grill, they'll do it for you. And if you're not in town or you can't get there, they'll ship it right to your door. And it'll be fresh as everything that they have is. They have their own cheese, American cheese that like you've never tasted before. It doesn't taste like plastic. It's real cheese. They have chicken. They have pork products. And this is all done on their own farm and cut in their butcher shop to order. Best hamburgers, best hot dogs, no fill hot dogs. There's no junk in it. There's no preservatives. That's good for your kids. It's good for you. And the prices are very reasonable. So give them a call today at 423-398-5595 and tell them Kaiser sent you. That's 423-398-5595. Don't forget, you'll have a best barbecue you've ever tasted, and you can do it on your own with great products. So going into a weekend, we're looking forward to some sunshine here. It's a beautiful day. It's actually a beautiful day in America today if you stop and think about it. Even though all that's going on, even though there was an assassination attempt, it's still a beautiful day in America. Every day in America is a beautiful day, and we don't want to let anyone else ruin it. So stay away from Morning Joe, CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox sometimes does the same thing. So I don't have any favorites when it comes to channels. I get their take, and then I research it, and then I come to you with stuff that has been vetted out to be true, not suppositions. But we're looking forward to a wonderful weekend here. I hope you are too, and I hope that you and your family and all your relations can enjoy this weekend, take a walk in the woods, and don't forget to pray for this country. Pray for the leaders of this country right now, and pray for the future leaders of this country. They need your prayers. United States needs your prayers. And God is watching, and God is good, and God loves you all. So let's show some love to each other between now and November, and everything will be just fine. God bless you all. I'm going to say goodbye to you today. We'll be back with you on Monday. If I do get out with a camera anywhere this weekend, I will post it for the weekend special report. God bless you all. Bye-bye now.